You all might have noticed, but we've never had this kind of situation before. Those monsters were supposed to be slumbering away, but now they woke up all of a sudden. There's no need to focus on what caused this. All that matters is we solve the problem at hand. Let me add a few words before we jump into battle today. I don't need cowards in my department. You should not let complacency waver your mind when you confront the monsters. You must arm yourself with anger, and pure anger alone, to crush those monstrous bastards. If you object to any of this, I suggest you transfer departments immediately. I won't squeeze out a tear or mourn over you perishing without your name being left behind. If you want your body and mind to stay comfortable, I'll gladly drag your ass over to the pathetic welfare team so you can chicken scratch your dishonorable name on the waiting list for department transfers. There's good reason why my department has fewer employees than any other. However, I want you to keep in mind that this means only the best have gathered here. Meeting over. We'll talk more when this situation has been sorted out. Miss Gebura, I think your maintenance has sustained too much damage. Maybe we should suspend the suppression operation for now? Tifrith is investigating the cause of this situation right now, so we should be able to figure it out pretty soon. I don't need a break. I can still fight. But in your condition... Shut up! I said I can still fight. 31 ego damaged, 17 employees dead, and counting. And your body needs 5 or 6 parts replaced and repaired. It's not thrilling to look after a machine who behaves like a child in a temper tantrum. However, the Sephiroth of the middle layer apparently could not keep you on a leash, so here I am. You. Oh, poor little thing, look at yourself. There was a time when I had a pinch of admiration for that fire in your eyes. But now even that is smothered with iron madness. It is such a shame that the both of us are locked up in this dungeon. However, I did not bend over or break my back at the very least. I imagine we will no longer have to face off with our lives at stake and be at each other's throats like the past, but I will say this for you, you pitiful thing. Stare directly into the object of your anger. The edge of a blade that has lost its way will be unfathomably blunt, for there will be nothing but the void to slash, no matter how much the blade is sharpened. I hope you don't think I get some kind of satisfaction out of this, seeing my once earnest rival now looking pathetic as a dog. I have decency, you know. Cutting, slashing, throttling, trampling, destroying. Sometimes I remember the faces of those who showed me true kindness. If I could just get the smallest taste of revenge upon those monsters who stole their smiles, their happiness, their future, my sword and spear would never stop their flurry. I see people dying in my blurred vision. They're always torn apart by monsters. Those dying faces differ from time to time. Sometimes they're strangers, sometimes ones I dearly miss, sometimes I see Christopher or Miss Isabel. Whoever they were, I'm filled with agony for them. Looking at my paralyzed leg and my severed arm, I scream and curse my weak body in a fit of rage. Then I black out. I'm so sick of this darkness. It is impossible to fight with such low manpower. I cannot approve your proposal. Please reconsider. Why should I approve an operation that will be so clearly ending in failure? If manpower is the issue, I can make up for it. If they're too weak, I'll make up for that too. There's nothing in the rules against a Sephiroth utilizing Ego too. If you so wish, I won't stop you. A familiar grip, the right weight, and practiced form. This feeling is so distinct it pulls me right back onto the right path, away from straying to wander just like a road sign. I completely lose track of time when I wield my weapons. It was kind of funny to see Tifreth and Chesed with bewildered faces when they witnessed me return from battle covered in blood. No matter how hard I stab and break those monsters, they'll recover sooner or later. Some of them wail, others scream. In battle, I also fracture and break some of my components, but those are soon replaced and repaired. What a perfect little hell, just for me. Missing your arm? Here it is. Think of it as a respectful gesture to a fellow warrior, to leave you with one of your arms intact. I doubt she expected this. The tragedy she would bring here caused by this oh-so-great ideology of hers. I don't know if it will ease your pain, but this happens quite often, more often than you may think. This is no less common than, say, a little seedling getting trampled to death. I must admit you're quite the tough sprout, however. You even managed to thwart my plans a little. I never expected you would kill 2 claws, stop all the monsters, and finally come to face me and give me a fair fight. By the way, about those monsters, I cannot deny their astonishing things. Even after plowing through a hallway of your friends, they never softened nor tired. It seems you aren't much different from them now that I ponder on it. Alright then. If you can still manage to hold a weapon and stand up with your own 2 feet, then come. Come at me. I will not be broken. If I can't get rid of these damn monsters, I'll destroy the whole company myself instead. Then finally my aimless wrath can crumble and rest with it beneath the earth forever. Among the many fixers of the back streets, she was one of the few who could go toe-to-toe with the head and the claw. She was called the Red Mist among the back streets' denizens. That was a name she earned protecting us from all kinds of threats and maneuvers of the outside. Michelle's betrayal led the eye to the den we hid in. Then the head mercilessly threw their claws at us. Instead of dealing with the Red Mist directly, the ever-cunning head unleashed the unstable abnormalities to slaughter us. The abnormalities were out of control, tearing apart our comrades who screamed in agony. All the while, the claws sniffed out their prey and snatched it. The whole situation was beyond what she could handle by herself, but she gave it everything she had to protect us. She lost an eye, one of her arms was severed, and she had numerous deep scars all over her body she could no longer heal from. Yet she didn't give up, and eventually her efforts saved Bee and I from death. Collect her corpse. The cadaver demonstrated the horrendous, unbearable situation she went through. After a long time had passed, her eyes opened again. However, her anger that had lost its focus dragged her down deep to the bottom. We had to reboot her many, many times. How nice to see you again. As you can see, I've been placed as the leader of the extraction team. I'm sure we'll meet again soon. So we're giving Bina a teddy bear. Go figure.
Well, that looks a little different, doesn't it? Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamak, this is Lobotomy Corporation. We've been tackling some core suppressions, and now we are hitting the final of the middle layer. The core suppression for the disciplinary team. Now, here's the thing. Thinking it over, this is probably one that you should do much earlier than I did. I feel like worst case scenario, you should do it before the Chesed department, but I chose this order because of stubbornness. I can't really think of any good reason why I'd do it in that order, and I really shouldn't have. But for this one, you need to think about how you gear out your facility very carefully. So here's my setup. Justitia plus Sound of a Star. Adoration plus Pale damage. Although, I guess any sort of red-white resistance combo would work. I really wish I still had my welfare team captain bonus because it would definitely help us out with using the Justitia armor, but it's too late to complain now. Down in the extraction team, we have Twilight wielder Gonzalez. However, you don't need Twilight to do this, but you can use it, and it's actually quite a smart. You can actually solo the entire thing with Justitia, it'll just take forever. And then our final setup is we have the Adoration weapon on the Mimicry armor. As a little extra backup, we also have the Sound of a Star armor with the Censored weapon, but I don't expect to get to this part. Only very specific characters should be getting involved in this suppression, because unlike the usual, reach a certain meltdown level, the red mist makes her return. Now, on one hand, I've never done this with the Twilight weapon in my inventory. But on the other hand, I've also never done it with Big Bird in the facility. A lot of people are going to die. Most of them are clerks. I don't intend to let my agents die, but it doesn't change the fact that, that any sort of clerk's rights abnormality is going to get very volatile. Okay, just making sure they don't go into the wrong place. Actually, wait, I want you to go over here. You can attack from the right. An important point to this is to treat this like an Amber Midnight. That is, do not keep everyone who isn't involved in important stuff in elevators. Main rooms are not safe, corridors are not safe. Heck, elevators won't always be safe, it's just, for now, not all elevators are dangerous at the same time is probably the better way to put it. Also, at points we might have to do work. Oh, that's not what I thought I picked up. Well, shoot, it's a good thing I'm memory repositorying that thing out of here. Oh, also, you should probably get out of there as well. Anyway, this is not your traditional core suppression, this is a boss fight. So on phase 1, she's using two very familiar looking weapons, the Red Eye's Mace and Penitence. Yes, the Lob Core Ryoshu from Walpurgis Night is in fact based very heavily off of the Red Mist's encounter here. Now the goal is rather simple. We just call in 2 people with very good red resistance and have them pick fights with her. She is resistant to all damage types except Pale. And the funny thing is that her AI tells her to go after a random target in the room. But the thing is, because she's going after random targets, she can end up pacing back and forth between the two. Now, something I did last time to speed up my encounter speed, I also had brought in Justitia on Adoration. I imagine Twilight is going to help us eat through this faster. Now keep an eye out for the 30% mark. Okay, Summer, you should probably get out of there. Everyone else, just stay here. So, she's using Road of Gold from the King of Greed. Before, she deals about 25 to 35 damage per hit, and when she uses Breakdown, her combination attack, it just deals 25 to 35 of both at once. This attack is much nastier, because it will, anywhere she hits, including when she's dashing into this portal, is going to take about 100 red damage. No one here is going to die to 100 red damage alone, but if she's been hitting on them with the red eyes enough, then it might actually be enough to one-shot them. Or even worse, if you try to get out of the way and you just walk into another portal. So yeah, you can see all the places that she's going to rush through. The place where she stops is always going to be another department room, and it's going to be the one with only a single portal. This isn't a very good place for her to stop. Unfortunately, it's actually a very bad place for her to stop, because it is going to put us in a position where we can't easily escape from the Road of Gold. Gonzalez, you go stop the bird for a bit, because, yeah, he's down to 3. She's never going to leave these department rooms, though. Oh, by the way, when she stops, she deals 290 to 310 red damage. Anything less than 0.3 is going to be obliterated, so these guys would not be... Summer would not be able to survive it. Gonzalez almost would. I don't know whether that 310 is enough to push it into fatality. I should actually calculate that right now. 93. So yeah, survivable but extremely painful. Maybe we could have our information team captain come and work with it. Because now that she's somewhere with clerks, it's going to be getting very upset. Oh, I also have to keep in mind that Parasite Tree is going to get upset over the course of the day. I would use execution bullets to get the clerks out of here, but the thing is, we don't have enough execution bullets to clear out the entire facility. And we're probably going to need those for emergency shields or emergency healing. Need to keep an eye out when Parasite Tree gets antsy, because if it pulls away Mason, I think is the... Actually, I can check. Rhino. If it pulls away Rhino, then he might be in a bad position when Gebura goes running about, so we need to try and keep Big Bird under control. Alternatively, we could just suppress it every time it shows up, but that would just be another complication on top of everything else. It would have to be the information team that she goes after first, wouldn't it? That's ruining it destroys our success rate a little bit, so it's a bit harder to get to that good range. We could always force a meltdown level if we want to get our ammunition back, but that just gives us more busy work and more time for things to go horribly wrong. Yeah, we've pushed as far as we can there. Gonzalez should also get the Heart of Aspiration because we're going to need that extra run speed. Actually, wait, no. Just go back to the normal location. What did I tell you? You also have to keep in mind that because she's an ALEPH, even though we have a 0.6 multiplier, it's not going to be as nice. There's a damage bonus for being a tier above us, so there would be a decent chance. So the stopping would be definitely fatal. But being caught midway is almost survivable. Oh boy. Rhino, where are you? Huh. Okay, so Central is going to be her stopping location, I guess. Oh! Also, we were standing too close and Red Mist actually caught him on the Fort Eagery on the way out. But as it is... 0.2, so it was reduced to just scratch damage. That's a really annoying place to be standing for the end, though. Now, keep in mind it is possible to call in the Rabbit team to knock her through a phase, but also keep in mind that the Rabbit team cannot contain her, so you basically only get to use them for one fraction of a health bar. Anything that would force her to move rounds isn't going to end well. And yeah, speaking of not ending well, she's in the position to set off Big Bird. Managing just Gonzalez is probably going to be our best bet here. One person is easier to work with than three. If I had the magical girl, if I had Queen of Hatred's weapon, it would be quite nice because that has an exceptionally long range. Wait, come back! Taking it from the front is definitely a way to boost our own attack power. But that said, Red shield. So, there is one funny little thing about completing Chesad's suppression. He has the ability to revive people from taking fatal damage. This doesn't work on insta-kills, just fatal damage from standard attacks. This means that all the clerks that she goes past do have a small chance of surviving, and if that happens, then they actually aggro onto her and will chase her across the entire facility to take a shot. Of course, then they'll die a second time, but fun. Okay, it looks like she's going to end up in the training department now, and she's also going to highly upset the clerk rights. Big Bird's about to breach. Yep. Okay, so this is phase 2. She's not playing around anymore. This is borrowing heaven. This is her own. Aside from when she goes through the portals, this is her only attack that can reach outside the room, and it travels in a very straight line. This lets her delete a very large number of people in a single strike. Do not leave people in elevator rooms in line with wherever she's standing. Also, she's using slightly stronger weapons now. Mimicry and Da Capo. Mimicry hits for about 70 to 90 damage, so anyone at full health is going to take a very nasty hit from that, unless you've got super high red resistance, and even then you don't exactly want to face tank it a lot. Her Da Capo attack, meanwhile, is a 3-hit combo. 15 to 25 on the first 2 hits, 40 on the third. It comes out very quickly. You're only going to be able to... You can't dodge the first hit without some serious luck and reflexes. In fact, I don't even think it's possible then, but you can at least get out of the way of the third. Her moving to another part of the facility is also a little bit different, but, well, we'll get to that when we get to that. Keep in mind, Heaven deals 100 black damage. So even if you resist her other 2 types, if there's enough HP left... Just double checking that no one's moving while I'm not looking. Unfortunately, when he stops to insta-kill someone, he becomes immune to damage. And it makes me very nervous. Because the text box is in the way, I can't tell whether Gonzalez has the hypnotization or not. It would have to be in this department, wouldn't it? Where there's a very long distance between the walls where we can get away from Big Bird. I just don't want him to show up at the last second. Yeah, there's the... Okay, so when we do have the enchantment, it'll be over the text box, so you don't have to worry about an unfortunate surprise. And that's not going to be the last time we see him. So then, let's think about how we want to do this. At the moment, she's slightly weak to black damage, neutral to pale damage, but highly resistant to red and white damage. So our best option would be Adoration. You would do that the moment you show up. Yeah, 100 black damage. It hurts a lot. We can have people stay in departments to heal up if they need to, but we still want to be very cautious. I suppose? Really wish I had my department bonuses, but what are you gonna do? You do get text boxes to warn you about what attack she's planning to use, but it's still not going to be much of a warning, is it? Oh. You would park right next to the door, wouldn't you? Not your fastest, but at least you didn't get hit by a giant sword. Oh wait, I just remembered something. Always make sure that you are not in between her or any of the departments she might want to visit during this phase. In fact, Adoration is quite a good pick for this part because, okay, I don't know whether we can get out of the way of that. So, what happens when you push her between phases is that she will throw Da Capo. This deals 145 to 155 damage. White damage, yeah, but that's an instant panic on anyone without some pretty hefty white resistances. Especially with the ALEPH bonus. And then she follows up. Anything caught by that attack takes, just 100 red damage. Anything that's in the room with her takes 450 to 550 damage. It is slightly insane. And unfortunately, because she's an information team, it means that anytime she decides to use Burrowing Heaven, it can hit people on their way out to heal. It is extremely not ideal. I feel like that might mean that we need to go back to using Gonzalez again. So... you can move up there. Yeah, this might be a time for Gonzalez to just kite her. Black shield, that's going to delete about 30 HP. But a single black shield is enough to handle it. Maybe I should let Gonzalez take a hit from that once or twice, simply so that we have the damage bonus, but we're fine as we are. After all, there's always a risk that she'll follow up with Burrowing Heaven aimed at us. I guess the other thing I should address is that if you really don't feel like you can handle her, you can do this. Basically hire a bunch of useless agents. Use them to meet the minimum staff quota because you cannot start the day until you have someone deployed at each department. Once you do that, you pick one person to be your character that you keep. You just stick them in here and have them wait out the entire time. There are only two things that can get an agent inside the shelter from 27th March. Spillover damage from Portrait of Another World, and you shouldn't have anyone left to actually use that. In fact, using that and then going into the shelter is definitely going to kill them. The other is the Plague Doctor. Right, Plague Doctor is capable of affecting people inside there. Oh dear. White Shield, get out of there. Okay, where's she going now? Okay, that's not the best place for her to appear, but it's not the worst place either. Her phase change for here is going to be extremely dangerous. When we deplete her health bar this time, she is going to deal 300 white damage to the right and 300 red damage to the left. Someone at 0.3 resistance at full HP can survive it, or full SP with 0.3 white resistance. It's still going to be quite terrifying, especially since she might have hit you with a Burrowing Heaven earlier. But as she is, it is possible to just jump straight down. And there's ways you can go about it. You could use, You could use Adoration. Or you could just have Mimicry and make sure that you're on the left of her. Kind of hard to do with micromanaging around here, but it works. You could also do the same thing with Da Capo, but be cautious because, well, similar reasons. You only get one Adoration. Okay, we need out, I think. So, the information team is still running. Funnily enough, extraction is doing well. She's probably going to delete the last of the clerks. I don't think Burrowing Heaven is capable of hitting these layers, so it'll be sort of fine there. Unfortunately, it's the white resistances that are causing us problems here. Also, keep in mind that the AoE damage from the suit can be used to push her down a level. Great. Just great. $23 damage. Okay, we actually ate through most of that health bar at once, so let's back off just a smidge. Yeah, just taking a single mimicry skyrocketed our damage potential. Unfortunately, it still leaves us in a bad position because she's going to hit us with Da Capo instead of what I would have preferred. So let me think about it. It's basically going to deal 90 damage to us if we get... Okay, this one can work. In fact, maybe you should come down to give us an adoration. Now scram. Yeah, you don't get much time to react to that attack. I don't know where Mimicry is, but... Okay, there it is. Yeah, Phase 3. She's not slacking off this time. This is a problem, because now she is stupidly resistant to black and pale damage. Normal to red and white, but there's no weaknesses that we can easily cut through. So, yeah, let's talk about this Justicia sword. It's a ranged attack. It deals about 50 to 75 damage. It deals 50 to 70 damage, which means that even a slight weakness to pale will be an insta-kill. However, Smile is the bigger problem because it's an AoE based around her current location. Deals 200 damage altogether. Plus, it has a very heavy movement speed debuff, so we're going to get out, so you're not getting out of the way of the attack after she catches you with it. Also, she's gone back to using Road of Gold. The numbers there are still the same, but... Ugh. So basically you need something that can handle pale damage and black damage at the same time. And this is our best option. Justicia. It does leave us still at risk, because the thing is, if she hits you with Justicia, that's going to be at best 35 damage, but then she might follow up with Heaven, or you might be running off to recover from Smile. The damage can add up a lot, which is why I give just the Justicia wearer... wait, what are you doing? Oh, right, she's doing that. The upside is that she's a lot less prone to chase people around. So in a big room like this, it is possible for someone to stay out of the way. You guys move to somewhere I can see where I'm doing. The downside to a big room is that. Man, there's still this one clerk over here. Even Da Capo. Where can I find my training team captain? Da Capo has a 1.5 multiplier, which means that a single hit from Justicia will be lethal. I mean, it won't always be lethal. You might get lucky and she rolls low on damage, but you might get unlucky and she just decides to roll the 70 that pushes over to 105. We do have pale shields though, so that is the one option you have if that's your own. The pale shields can help. We're just barely out of her range when we're using Sound of a Star. Yeah, she's one layer up too high. She can't actually hit people from there. As long as we're in the room, she won't move. There's actually an even longer range white weapon than this that you could always use if you want. The downside to just face tanking the spear is that, well, Sound of a Star's damage is based on how much SP your character has, so taking a frontal hit from that is kind of unfortunate. I guess a better option would be to put Sound of a Star on Smile, because Smile gives out 0.2 resistance to black, so her black attacks do nothing. The problem is that Smile doesn't have a resistance to Pale, so you're going at best she might actually be able to hit you with 70. And you can't always be... If she picks a small room like the information team again, then you're kind of screwed, because she'll be too close for you to hit around. Oh, she's standing in the middle. She knows what we're planning. We've almost whittled her down, though. I think I'll go for putting up a black shield whenever she uses Burrowing Heaven. Phase change any minute now. Okay, portal behind you, get out of there. Where's our stopping location? I think it might be the safety team, because one of those portals looks extra shiny. Yeah, this one looks extra glowy, so I think she's just gonna pass right through it. Oh wait, that's the wrong door. What was it that I was saying about giving myself black shields? I distinctly remember something about black shields. Not sure what it was. Yeah, that's absolute scratch damage. Oh, right, because she's parked in there, healing isn't that good, so catch you in a little bit after we've recovered from all this nonsense. Okay, phase change. Where's this stopping location? Looks like he wants to finish off extraction. Okay, so we need to think this one over. This fight... Basically, the entire difficulty of the fight so far has just been, I'm not in the right position most of this time. Now we have something to worry about. Everyone we have should gather up here except for the duo that are going after her. Ooh, they tried. It's a shame that there just aren't that many damage over time. I suppose another option for this phase would be Exuvier if you've got enough if you can get enough people safe to her Justicia attack, because it does double the red damage taken, so it could add up quite a bit. And now we need to skedaddle very quickly. Anyone caught in that attack will take a lot of... Ooh. Okay. She's teleporting. Where is she teleporting to? Is she teleporting straight back into the extraction team? No, not extraction team. Central. Okay, that's a bit of a problem because that's that place is perfectly in the perfect center of the facility. So she stops for a brief moment after every attack in this phase. Wait, why did you... Oh dear. Okay, you guys also should run. We've all seen how well Twilight works. She's now moving at, about, say, 200 speed. And homing in on a specific person in the facility. If you're lucky, she'll instead use Road of Gold, but it almost feels like that attack is a misnomer because I've never seen her use this. I know it exists, I just don't get to use it. Maybe that's because of how I play. Okay. Oh yeah, she also deals random damage to whoever she passes. The fact that it was Gonzalez is the only reason you're still standing. It's 90 to 110. Full health is just barely not a one-shot. On the upside, by starting out here, it is possible for us to finagle it. It's also possible to use elevator jumping to get out of the way. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yeah, when you're marked by Gebura, you don't get to get out of the way. The shelter cannot protect you because she won't let you into it. Wait. Damn it. So we're actually in an even worse position because she decided to shut down Well, she's out of range. Everyone in the facility needs to make a run for the welfare team. She's probably going to catch us though, so we're going to have to start all from scratch. I hate this backloaded difficulty so much. I did set everyone to be at least Justice level 4 just so they'd have better movement speed, but the thing is, she's still going to catch you. Although while we're moving about, she might decide to use the Road of Gold attack. Who's on the menu this time? It's not you, so you can probably go over here to protect yourself. Wait, I don't think she's targeting anyone. I think she's headed for... Yep, she's Road of Gold. Where's the ending time this time? I cannot tell. Wait, it's here! Okay, we can make use of this. Just double checking to make sure no portals opened up in the wrong position. In fact, let's pick the tighter corridor, just in case. Incidentally, if she ever does reach the person that she's aiming for, or after she finishes her move, then she deals 90 to 110 random attack 10 times over. It's basically going to be an insta-kill no matter who you are, except for perhaps Paradise Lost. No deaths so far. All in. No deaths. It's... oh. The unfortunate thing is that it's a lot of slow playing to try and keep it safe, but at the end she's going to spike in difficulty and cost you someone's life. It might actually be smarter to bring only the fastest agents you possibly have, just so you can try and keep away from her during that attack. Anyhow, let's see what she has to say. Oh wait, I'm going to be doing some grinding for equipment before I reset to get rid of all the bad abnormalities. Why are you looking at me like that? You look like a thief just turned up on your doorstep. I honestly didn't expect to see you here. Or, well, to be exact, I knew you would come here eventually, but I didn't expect it would be this soon. You had such a sour expression when we talked, but you actually liked me, didn't you? What the hell? You know, I don't have any true contact with the lives of people from the back streets, nor the pain they go through. Perhaps I've been living a more affluent yet cowardly life compared to them. From that, I've always felt so ashamed of everything, even to be graced by a small ray of sunshine. It wasn't all that rough. I understand it must have been a hard decision to come here, so thank you. Sooner or later, we will have to deal with unexpected hardships here. There are just too many problems to try and solve in peaceful ways. The real reason I chose to speak to you out of all of the other syndicates or fixers that day was actually because of something rather trivial. What was it? If we're being honest, I thought I could barter with you for cheaper prices. Looks like it was a mistake to come here. I'll be going now. Please hear me out. I saw you pay for the funeral expense of an old lady whom you didn't even know. I truly admired your kindness, and I even looked forward to seeing it myself. Corpses can cause an entire alleyway to be infested with vermin if they aren't buried properly. Besides, I just wanted to repay her for treating me to meals a couple of times. Understand, I've never been close to being a kind person my entire life. Why do you keep smiling, damn it? Just happy to be great at discerning the best of the best. Carmen could back up what she said. She truly did have a sharp eye for people. The tale of how she built her reputation could fill a chronicle of history books and then some. The only problem was that Carmen was too wrapped up with taking care of others. She never had a moment to take good care of herself. We were on such a delightful upturn back then, it's almost cruel to bring those memories back up. We were flying towards a limitless world that never seemed to end. By the way, who's the guy glaring at me? Oh, that's A. He just always has a serious look on his face. I beg of you, please protect the people here. I know I can trust you with this. From the past to the present, abnormalities have wandered the facility, killing numerous people. Despite my reputation, there were too many things I just couldn't save. When I think about it, my entire life was far from one of justice. You probably wouldn't know much about the back streets, seeing as you stayed in the nest your whole life. Those streets were a place where there was no need for justice, morality, or any of those other pedestals like those. If you have never been there before, you wouldn't understand how agonizing and miserable the stories of people who live there are. How they are robbed of the chance to live a legitimate life, how unfair and unjust the life is there. All I learned there was how to survive this miserable existence. But Carmen told me she wouldn't give up on anyone, even people like us. She also told us that the weak who had willing spirits could someday possess enough power to cut off their head. It was such an absurd and ridiculous thing to say. Why couldn't I just keep on with how my life was before? I'm not smart enough for all those complicated calculations. I can't even write a logical or coherent report. The only thing I was able to do was draw my sword against those who opposed us. All my life I had only used my skills for my own survival. But that day, I had never felt more proud to be able to protect others. However, I wasn't able to protect anybody in the end. That cut me deeply. I was filled with anger and lost my mind for it. You saved B and myself? True. You and that other person survived thanks to me. I thought I had lost Carmen's will forever. But after all's said and done, I had to have carried that will all the way here somehow, right? I feel like I can catch a bit of a breath now. When we first reawakened in metal, we could feel the exact moment our final breath stopped, lodged into us like glass shards. Stupidly, I woke up with only rage left in my heart for the abnormalities. You miss her, right? I do too. I don't think she'll ever come back. We'll never get to see her shameless smile ever again. The one that made even people like me follow her. Or the light that radiated from her, flowing so much that one couldn't hold all of it with both hands. But her will and promise will always remain the same, even after an eternity has passed. It will be a place where she can live on, even after death. If you happen to remember it, please tell me. Tell me the gift she left behind for us. The courage to protect. My data and analysis are now lacking in some degrees, so this is the first time we've reached this point. Everything from here on is a mystery. I know I'm not in a position to dare predict the outcome of your endeavors, but your task is not an impossible one. There is a real distinction between impossible and 0% possibility. Us machines say that when something will never happen after taking every possibility into consideration, it has a 0% possibility. Thus, my vision of you succeeding through every tribulation in the future is not impossible, but rather has a 0% possibility. However, I won't be disappointed if you fail. I'm a machine, after all. Even if the sandcastle you've built up crumbles yet again, I'll be able to put up with it as if nothing happened. Oh, I was recalling the sound of your footsteps. While there were cliches, you sometimes made the results more exciting by acting in unexpected ways. Still, the endings were all the same, no matter how the process went. Do you want me to share some memories through a hologram? It's simply too good for me to watch alone. This here was you in a mess when there was no such thing as a cognition filter. I didn't know that a human's mental capacity could be so weak back then. You did alright the first couple of times, but then one day... Well, at that time it was a little funny. I'm sorry you made it so far, but you weren't able to escape from that absolutely useless sense of guilt, and hung yourself. Well, you were stopped immediately, though. Then, at this time, you were not fully prepared. That's when I started to realize that it didn't matter if you were mentally whole or not. What mattered was that you need to find realization about something to stop this endless cycle. Oh, at this time here, all of a sudden you began apologizing to me. I didn't enjoy it. I'll continue watching. Are you starting to enjoy this? I would love to see more, but let's stop here for today. You might see something that you're not supposed to witness yet if we continued. Are we managing to get closer to our goal? On the contrary to what people say, it appears that aging does not necessarily bring greater wisdom. Just look at this old man, going through what feels like an endless cycle of intermittent greed, the obsession over things that have passed, pointless regret, now trapped in a routine of staring at the iron hands of time without reason. By the way, I've always wanted to ask you something. I noticed you wear a sad expression on your face each time one of your employees died. Just as I have become an old man, no human being is free from the cycle of life and death. As our research was to cure the disease, not to live forever. How about an example? Do you remember that one employee? The one who was nice and upfront with you? He passed away recently. When he received the letter that he was accepted into Lobotomy Corporation, he would never have expected to meet such a futile demise. If I wanted, I could have brought him back to you. But I did not. It is in the order of this place that an empty spot shall always soon be filled. Did you finally discover the secret of this place? Lives are trivial here. The tenuous hold on life can be severed so easily, yet may come back as if nothing happened. We have reached a point in which we don't even need to mourn their deaths. An employee who died just yesterday may come back from my simple call, yet another employee may never open their eyes again from a single wave of my hand. That is what death means here, eh? It is neither honourable nor noble, nor is it miserable or cruel like we may think it to be. So please don't punish yourself too much. I do not wish to see you suffer from such a personal and insignificant thing. For the future will bring you much more pain to bear. What is rationality? We see and analyze through the eyes of rationality, however, its prowess and usage differs from person to person. Crude prudence blinds you to your true worth. In the circumstances around you, an excessive prudence morphs into a knife that cuts you. You must be soundly rational when you observe this world and its people. Clear the day with 5 or more employees whose prudence is 100 or... It doesn't really matter, so extraction team. We are going to have to memory reposition, but this is a decent starting point, I guess. We're almost done, but not quite. So then, the disciplinary team research. The maximum number of ego that can be acquired from each abnormality is increased by 1, up to a maximum of 5. This is interesting. So all of our ALEPH, all of our VOV, all of that, we can get doubles on everything. We can't increase the number for things like penitence because those already have a default of 5, but still, being able to double our ALEPH stock is fantastic. However, there's a catch. Equipment earned through non-standard means. So that means the weapon of Firebird, the weapon of White Knight, and both the parts of Twilight. These things do not count, so we can only have 1 each. I mean, do we really need 2 Twilight? I don't think so. But yeah, Oh, right, we also have research from the extraction team. Let's go for gift division simply because maybe we could get lucky with ALEPH gifts when we start working our way back to day 41. But what I'm basically going to do this day is I am going to grab all of this equipment I have in the facility. I'm probably not going to touch this thing because I hate it. And yeah, once we're done with that, it's going to be a memory repository to reclaim all of our command team, team captain bonuses. But here's an important thing. You need to divide up the abnormalities you assign during these days, as we've seen here. At least 2 go to record team, at least 2 go to the extraction team. If you don't do this, you cannot reach day 50 unless you do a day 1 reset, because you will not have enough time to do core suppressions for both record and extraction team. And yes, I am going to challenge these people again because I want to get revenge for not doing fatality-free runs. So until then guys, take care, I'll see you all around.